Welcome to Conversations with Young Leaders in Menstrual Health and Hygiene, a series brought to you by me, Janet Mbugua, in collaboration with Menstrual Hygiene Day. In this series, we celebrate bold, brilliant young voices who are leading the change in menstrual health and hygiene from all around the world. Each episode highlights a young leader, somebody using their voice, platform, or lived experience to shift the narrative around menstrual health and hygiene and to break the stigma around menstruation. Let's get into the conversation. Today, we are joined by Sofía Larraguibel. She is a fierce youth advocate from Latin America. Again, it's great that I've had the honor to interact with some of these folks. I interacted briefly with Sofia in New York. I remember being very blown away by just her intentionality for pushing for justice and menstrual rights and sexual and reproductive health and rights. So Sofia, it's so good to connect with you. How are you doing?
Yes, thank you so much. It's really great to see you again. I'm great. I'm, of course, tired as every youth right now, but really motivated to keep on fighting for menstrual rights, of course.
It's really interesting that you've said tired like every youth. You feel like there's almost like a huge burden on young people to solve the world's problems. Is that where that's coming from?
Yeah, because I also, other than menstrual rights, I do a lot of other things. And with our friends, we call it hyperactivism.
Wow.
Everyone says like the youth's force and inspiration and hope and everything. Like, dude, we are tired. We cannot do everything. And yeah, we can not even buy houses. No one wants to have kids right now. Like, we are not hopeful. We are urgently trying to do things, It's like an urgency. It's not something, it's not beautiful, I have like activist friends that said, oh, I love activism. It's so beautiful. Like, what are you doing then?
Yeah.
Like, that's really privileged to say that you have a really nice time doing activism.
Yeah. I think it's really important for you to have said that, Sofia, because it is true. And I was just telling you earlier before we started the conversation that in Kenya last year, young people are the ones who led one of the biggest protests our country has ever witnessed. It just kind of makes you realize these are young people who are actually pushing for justice and access the world over. But what does that mean about how they can still understand, validate, and appreciate, or even love being young? It's a burden, But tell us a little bit about how you got into menstrual rights activism. What was it that made you say, you know what, we need better information and better access?
Yeah, it was really like quickly because I got the role of regional leader for Chile, like the first one actually. And that was March. And then in April, they told me, okay, we have this really important work we're doing. So you have to do something on menstruation this May. Okay, like, what do I know about menstruation? I menstruate. That was it.
That's what you know, is that you menstruate.
So I said, like, I cannot do something I don't know about. So I started like a really fast research on what are people doing in Chile, who is the people that are doing things in Chile, and I got them all together to get to know each other and talk about it. And that was like my whole effort. And then I realized that people do not talk about menstruation with each other.
Right. How long ago was this?
How long ago? Actually, 2 years right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our first meeting in person was on June 2nd on 2023. So now we are actually 2 years on. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was really proud of that. Yeah.
And in fact, a lot of people don't immediately connect periods with sexual reproductive health and rights. So why is MHH such an important part of SRH?
Actually, what you said is a really good thing. The fact that not many people connected right away, because we have used that for our advantage to talk about menstruation in spaces that people don't want to talk about. CSC, for example, it's like a little Trojan horse to say something like that. So menstruation, as I have figured out right now, 2 years after, is a whole universe. You can talk about anything from menstruation, like from environment to beauty and emotionality, politics, legislation, everything. There's everything you can talk about it if you start with your own experience on menstruation. That's why it's so important. That's why I have stuck with this fight, because it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, right now I'm the menstrual girl in my circle of friends,
Yeah.
which is nice because now they talk about it. So I have.
You wear that badge with honor. You're like, yep, I'm the menstrual girl and menstrual
Yes,
friend, and that's okay. I love
yes.
what you've said about how talking about menstruation is that gateway to talk about so many other things. That's so correct. And I think it's an opportunity to say menstruation, because it's our bodies, it's our minds, it's our finances, it's our policies. So I think that's a really smart approach. And a lot of people use it to also talk about things like contraceptives, right? Which is part of the bigger conversation on reproductive health and rights. What do you think is stopping us, even if you can speak to countries or regions like yours, or the world over, what you've observed, what is stopping us from truly achieving a period-friendly world, a menstrually just world?
It's the same reason which is so important to achieve it is because it's half the population or maybe more.
Yep.
So it's so many people, and it's such a normal thing, like such a domestic thing, that we look like right over it. Like, yeah, it's your thing, it's your private matter. That's why not no one, but it's so difficult to move on this. Like I told you before we started, the priority in our country right now for this government is abortion. No, so abortion is a really tough topic. It does not happen to everyone. It has a lot of regulations and really technical stuff to talk about it. But menstruation is going to keep happening,
Yeah.
abortions or not. Menstruation is going to happen to half the population, maybe more. So that's why it's so difficult to put it in the agenda of anyone, because it's so massive and so
Yeah.
domestic.
That's a really good way of putting it. Like, it's such a big topic that it would almost have to be integrated into every other topic, which I think when it comes to things like health, it's something that a lot of us have pushed for. I'm sure you as well. But you're right. People would rather bring it down and narrow it down to one thing so that then you can tackle that one thing. Whereas menstruation is the thing that remains constant. It doesn't change. Before we started this conversation, you were talking about a women's ministry. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes.
All right, tell me about a women's ministry in Chile. When did that come about, and has it helped even push this conversation?
Yes, absolutely. I have to say, I'm in no political party or anything, but I'm really proud of our Ministry of Women, Antonia Orellana. She's really sassy, and I really love that. She has got into some problems with her words, but actually what she says and how she says it is really important, because we have this image of the woman politician who is really elegant and really calm. No, she's like she's a woman. She's just like every woman, and she gets angry and she says it, and she's so sassy, like I said, and she's, I think, the one of the only ministers that has been the same for the whole government. She's the only one that has not been changed, which is a really big thing.
Right.
So the Ministry of Women started on 2016, 2015.
Wow.
And my theory is that it started with the first National Action Plan on Women, Peace and Security resolution, because it made a lot of sense. Everything appeared on the same time. And yes, at the beginning, it was a really weird thing. Like, no one understood the fact we needed a Ministry of Women. But right now, everything is the Ministry of Women has to talk about everything. It's really.
That's so great. And so it centers women in things like peace, security, reproductive health. It addresses probably matters like gender-based violence. What's the scope of what the women's ministry tackles? Or what's the the main thing that you would say, or is it just across the board?
No, everything, because then the full name is Ministry of Women and Gender Equality. So in this government is the first time that the Ministry of Women is in the political committee, which is like the closest advisors to the president. So they have like the interior, the interior ministry, the defense minister, like the most important heads of cabinet, and then the Ministry of Women. And this is the first time that happens.
Wow.
So in every ministry, there's an officer on gender in every single ministry.
Okay.
And this is the first time that happens too.
Okay. What has it done to advance things like menstrual justice and rights for women? And is the country receptive of it? Because you might find in some communities, there's pushback, there's misogyny. But what has it done for menstrual justice, and how has the community responded to it?
The ministry, specifically, not much, because the topic is resting on the Ministry of Health. So I personally have talked to the Ministry of Women, this has to be I don't know how to say it in English, but transversal, in every single topic. Is not just a health problem. It puts the topic in a really hygienist way. It's not dirty, It's not a disease for most of us. Some people have diseases on menstruation, but it's not a disease. It's something that happens. It's like a biological thing. So we try to put it on human rights. We try to put it on the ministry that does the treasury. We try to put it on environment. Like I said, in every single topic, because this is a universe. It's not just a health problem. But yeah, the government actually rejected to create a law on taxes for menstruation, because we had a tax called IVA, which is a tax that everyone pays on every single product. Yeah, every country has it. So it's a really regressive tax.
Yeah.
So it would not help anyone. Just actually, it will help the people that have the most money. So, yeah, it's really...
That is so interesting. I know we're coming towards the end of our conversation, but do you feel like things are beginning to shift? And maybe tell us about the work that you're doing to help create a shift in breaking down the stigma around periods and awareness. So just the two things is, number one, the work you're doing, and number two, your thoughts on whether things are actually shifting in your region.
The thing is that I don't think, and I don't really need for things to change that fast, because we realize with this network we built that there are two ways on destroying stigma on menstruation. One is the legislation way, and the other one is the cultural way, which is the most important and the hardest one, and the one that takes the longest time. So the only thing I want, which is something I said in New York, the way I started, I don't care if you find it disgusting. I don't care if you're uncomfortable. That's totally valid. I just need you to talk about it. I just need to know what people think about this, so we know how to tackle that. That's it. So I think that's a really great shift. The organizations that I've worked with now for 2 years have told me, I can't believe you did this. It's the first time I can talk about this with other people that are doing the same. It's the first time I really see a community building here, because they really felt alone. But there are many, 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 many organizations that do this. Actually, we did some meetings after, more specialized meetings, more organized and small. And they really said, you are doing the same thing that I am. Let's do it together. And that's what's really nice. I just organized this meeting, and I introduced the meeting, and I just let them talk, because they did not have that opportunity ever.
Oh, that's amazing. It speaks
Yeah.
to your passion. Oh my gosh, Sophia, I think that's all the time we have. You have a lot of wisdom. Please never lose your wisdom. It's a gift. Like you.
It's my name, actually. My
Are
name
you
means
serious?
wisdom.
Look at that.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Philosophy.
Yes.
Like Sophie is from Sophia,
I didn't know
which
that.
is a Greek name.
Yeah.
That means wisdom.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people tell you that. You have a lot of wisdom. So, and I think that's going to sustain you because wisdom tells you when to pause, wisdom tells you how to collaborate. So, thank you for everything you're doing. We're encouraged by people like you because, we just need to make sure that you're also not tired and carrying the load. I think we need to just mobilize around young voices and make sure that they can sustain their momentum. So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about this, and thank you for everything you are doing. And I know you're talking to a lot of other people, so that's really nice.
But thank you so much, Sophia. All the best, and hopefully we'll see each other soon. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.